Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Friday and thank you for watching today. So I am excited that I'm going to be using some of the product from the mini catalog. The mini catalog is just stocked full of all kinds of holiday product, right? It's got some Halloween, some Thanksgiving, some Christmas, and I go crazy because I go back and forth. One day I'm making a Halloween card and then I'm like, oh, let's make a Christmas card. And I know I need to make lots of Thanksgiving cards this year. So I am going to make a Christmas card. And I'm going to use some product from the annual catalog. I'm going to use a punch. I'm going to use some blending brushes. I'm going to use a stamp set from the mini catalog called Christmas to Remember. Okay, so this is a cling stamp. It has 9 stamps in it. Love this, all these different Christmas sayings. And I am going to use the Merry Christmas because that's always my favorite Christmas saying. But I'm really intrigued with this one. I love this because when you stamp it, the background is the color of the ink and the inside is the white, which I think is different. And then it has this little tiny Mary, which looks so cute on a little tag, right? If you're going to attach it to some ribbon. So this is my favorite saying set for this Christmas season. I'm also going to use a die from the annual catalog, and this one's called Messages. So this is the die, right? The big die has 2 stamp sets that go with it, separately purchased. The one was last year in the mini catalog and it's carried over, and then a brand new one in the annual catalog. And what's interesting is you can stamp it, you can cut all of them out at once. I am going to just use one of these, which is no problem cutting those out. But I'm going to show you how I keep them. So I'm also going to use this punch, and this is the Evergreen border punch. Okay, I've had a little bit of issues with it. Hopefully it won't stick. I may have to call Stampin' Up. So here's the cool thing about Stampin' Up. If you have a punch, your product, Stampin' Up stands behind it. And especially for 90 days, I can return this, exchange this, and get a brand new one. No postage. And I'll see how this works. So I have sharpened it with some foil and some wax paper. So I'm hoping that it works a little better than it did when I used it the first time. Okay, and hopefully all the foil and the wax paper have come out. I am going to use some blending brushes. I'm going to use the Evergreen Forest embossing folder. So this is a 6x6 3D folder that is in the annual catalog. Love that there's some Christmas stuff in there. So I'm going to use that one. That's not necessarily Christmas. That's kind of wintry. And you could use that on a winter birthday card, right? So I'm going to use some different greens. And I think these are going to look fine together. But I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit from my norm. And I'm also going to use some of the white organdy glittered ribbon. Ah, how cute. So we have the black in the annual catalog. And now we have the white that's in the mini catalog, and it's not very coarse. I mean, it's easily tied, so I'm going to use this today too. So there's a lot of product, right? And let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to use as my card base a piece of thick white basic cardstock. I've already cut this 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it, right? Because you do want to score if you are using thick cardstock, which I didn't score it perfectly, but I think I can fix it. You do want to score it because, especially if it's opening this way, right? Because it has a tendency to want to crease weird. So there is that. I am going to I did run this through the embossing folder. So since this is a 3D, you need to use in your cut and emboss, you need to use the platform and then number 4 plate, which is the gray plate. If you don't have the gray plate, you have the blue plate that you purchased before. It's the same thing. The blue and the gray plate are the same. So I did run this through, and ooh, is that delightful? I love it. Okay, so we have that. And that is ready. I'm not going to adhere it yet because I'm going to put some ribbon on in the end. So I think I'm going to wait. Okay, now Let's see how our punch works. I'm going to hold my breath on this. So I'm using 3 different greens. I'm using mint macaron. I'm using soft succulent, which is an in color, and I'm using shaded spruce. So these 3 colors together, a little different, but I like them. I think they look good together, and you're going to see why I chose them. So let's start punching. Oh yes, punching better. So let that be, I'm going to cut that. Let that be a test that worked. I used the foil. I took some aluminum foil. I folded it like 3 times and I ran it through. Punch, 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 punch. Then I took some wax paper. Did the same thing. Punch, 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 punch. So hey. Okay, so and the way you line this up is, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, doesn't matter. You're going to line it up and you're going to line the trees up, right? And once you line the trees up, the next trees are going to punch perfectly. Okay, I use the palm of my hand. Seems to work easier for me. And the last one is this one. Have to stand up, sorry. And I think that's plenty. Okay, so I have 1 set of those. Ooh, I'll save that piece, that's plenty. Okay, get rid of this. Now I'm going to take soft succulent. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so I have a row of soft succulent. I can leave that. Oh, I'll just cut that off. Soft succulent trees, and then the last one is mint macaron. I have to tell you, this is working famously, which is exciting to me. I was thinking I was going to have to be calling Stampin' Up and saying, send me a new punch. So one time I had a punch that I could not get to work. It would just keep jamming on me. And I called and they said, we'll send you a new one, but try this. Do you have a concrete garage? I said, yes. They said, take it to the garage and just drop it. And I'm like, drop it onto the concrete? And they're like, yes. And it actually was off a little ways and it corrected itself. Huh. So there's another idea. Stampin' Up! Stands behind everything. So the main thing is to check your product when you get it. And I try to tell everybody this, whether you're buying blends, markers, punches, stamp pads, it's always good to open them, look at them, try them, and if there's any problem with them, Stampin' Up! And I will stand behind them because we don't want you to have product that you can't use. And also it's frustrating, right? Because this punch I think was like $18. And I'm just thinking, I want my punch to work. And if it doesn't, I want a new one. So I'm going to turn this over. Well, that's different too, but anyway. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cardstock and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. First one, I'm going to not put any dimensionals on here. I'm going to use some of our Tombow liquid glue. Okay. And I'm going to show you my little trick. Cut this first. Okay. So I'm going to put some wet glue, some of the Tombow glue on here. Not overkill, but just, you know, enough, right? And I'm not going to put this at the bottom. I'm actually going to put it up a little higher than you would think. I'm going to put it up about right here, which looks really weird, right? Oh, I was going to do some sponging on there. Oh, well, I'll sponge on the next one. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one next. And what I want to do with it is I want to put some dimensionals on the back. So I'm going to put a few dimensionals on the back. Okay. And I am going to layer this on top of the other ones, but I'm going to move them just a little bit like this. Okay. And then the last one, I am going to sponge, or I forget. And I'm going to use my soft succulent ink, and I'm just going to sponge just to give this a little depth. I'm going to sponge. Let's see, I don't need too much on here. I'm just going to sponge the edges with my blending brush. You could do this with a sponge if you have the old sponges that we don't sell anymore. But if you have them, don't get rid of them because they're awesome. Or if you have a makeup sponge, you could use that. Okay, so I'm just bringing a little dimension in here, since this is going to be the top one. All right. And then I'm going to, again, put some dimensionals on the back. And that's where these mini dimensionals come in handy. Oh, perfect. So you could definitely, if you don't have the minis, you could use the bigger ones and just cut them. But, oh, these are so handy. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these on also. And I'm going to put them up just a little bit higher. Oh, I have to cut through there. Hope that doesn't stick to my scissors. Nope, it's perfect. Okay, cut this down. All right, so now you can see what I did. So I have 3 rows and they are staggered so that you can see the underneath ones. They're not staggered very much, but I think it works fine. Okay, before I attach this to the card, I am going to use some ribbon. And that's why I left this at the bottom. So I'm going to use some of this white ribbon. And you're probably going to laugh because you know how I am with my ribbon. Tying ribbon, not the best. But I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm just going to tie a knot. Okay, so I'm just going to tie it up like that. Yes, I'm good at tying a knot. Much better than a bow. Okay. Ooh, stretched that a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, time to attach this to our card. So I have a couple more things to do. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to our card. So I did use a white card base. I thought that would kind of make it pop, which I think I do like. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus Light Touch, right? Light touch. If you do a light touch, it won't grab your cardstock. It has a tendency to be finicky, and I am getting much better with it than I was. But I can tell you that it still sometimes doesn't like me. But I am going to master it. I am going to master it. Okay, liking it so far. Needs a greeting. And our greeting is going to be that Merry Christmas. So I'm going to attach this cling stamp to my block. I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler ink. And I did cut out ahead of time because I did show you all of these dies, right? I did want to show you how I save these. So I stamp these when I need them. They're all in here. All my sayings are in here, okay? Because I stamped them all in black, and I keep a little, this whole thing, either white on black or black on white, and or any color you want, and just keep them. So this one is actually one of them that has no stamp on it. let's see if we can line this up. Ooh, I lined it up, but I didn't get it all inked up. Might need to ink my stamp pad, I don't know. Not the best. Let's try this again. That's why you need to cut out a couple because, right? You never know. Well, that's better. Still not. I think it's just my ink pad is not very inked up. So I'm going to add some ink to that. So anyway, I'm going to put a few dimensionals on here. Looks like I've used all of these. So guess what? Perfect. Cut off the edge. Merry Christmas. And I'm going to use some little pearls to make it, I think it's going to look a little bit like snow. So, I'm going to pull off some of these pearls. Ooh, those are big. I have some small ones here I'm going to use. So sometimes we get pearls with our paper pumpkins. We get so many pearls, but these are pearls from, I think these might be an old pack. There went one flying. An old pack. So let's see. Did that keep the glue on it? I think it did. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pull off a bunch of pearls. Put them on here with my Take Your Pick tool. Do you have a Take Your Pick tool? Oh, if you don't, you should because they are amazing. This one actually has the attachment attached to it, and that's to use on your dies. When you have an intricate die, you just use that on the foam, and it takes all the little pieces out. My other one has the putty, and it's in the other room because I have it in there for my club. So, are you in a stamp club? Let me see how that looks. Oh, it's looking so cute. Oh, where'd that pearl go? I don't know. Okay, let's find another one. Golly. I need that pearl that flew away. Okay, I think that's good. You get the idea. You can put as many as you want on there. So anyway, the card today was kind of some of the mini catalog products, some of the annual catalog product, but all works well together. So hope you enjoyed this. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.